JA and all of the Debate Amongst Friends family, welcome to Overreaction Monday. The extravaganza that all football fans, both NCAA and NFL alike, are overreacting to their teams' wins or losses. But Johnny, the king of RNG, the troll master, the data analyzing ninja, the conqueror of his own fate, the Terminator. And hopefully, after whatever my little dog Napoleon just did, the cleaner.
Best podcasting machine? I don't know how to follow up that at all.
I don't know what he just did, but you might have to come and clean this one up there, cleaner.
I'm a cleaner, but I'm not that kind of cleaner, folks. But I am the least hype machine. Doc El Idolo. We're always tranquilo. Doc, the Sultan of Squat. How are you doing after a dynamite weekend? And that's not talking about AEW, friend.
Man, listen. I'm doing good. It's been a rampage
Okay.
full of a weekend for me. Starting with you all talk about overreaction Monday. I'll give a quick testimony to Overreaction Monday. All right, so the Gridiron Gang, as you know, I'm a flag football coach, and we were supposed to play we did play. We weren't supposed to play, but we played last year's champions, and a great show, a great fashion. It was 12-0 at halftime. We still had opportunities to come back and play, but somewhere along the lines, you want to talk about Overreaction Monday, there was Overreaction Sunday at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, all the way up through midnight. And now, big time Overreaction Monday.
Wow, it just bled into Monday. Sheesh.
Oh, it's still bleeding. It's that famous line that I always use from Cradle to the Grave, I believe it is. No. Rush Hour.
Okay.
Rush Hour 2.
It's really, really hard to confuse Cradle to the Grave with Rush Hour, though. But
no,
sure.
I feel like there's two lines from both movies, but it's Rush Hour 2, and it's wipe yourself off. You're bleeding. Unless there's another Rush Hour that I can't. I'm not remembering. I believe it was Rush Hour 2.
That was Rush Hour 1.
Was it?
Yes.
Well, dang, that's how overreacted I am. I guess I can't even remember the movies.
What is Doc talking about?
But anyway, Overreaction Monday, we're back. A lot of overreaction. We'll start with the most overreacted game. I would say the Packers versus the Saints. Obviously, Jay Boo wins through 5 touchdowns, 150 yards, no picks. Obviously, 5 touchdowns. Pretty quote unquote flawless game. Honestly, it's a game in which all the Saints asked him to do was manage the game. They didn't ask him to do anything crazy. And he threw a deep ball. He threw a deep pass. He threw some really, really good balls. But they didn't ask him to do a lot. But I don't think the overreaction is on Jameis. I think the overreaction is on the other side. That those cheeseheads are looking for some wine.
It's cheeseheads haters. It's people who are just casual fans. It's media that's trying to have hot takes. It is every level of football overreacting to this game. It is week 1, folks. Week 1. Because we had the exact same situation last year with a team losing to the Saints on week 1.
Right.
The exact same scenario. They got smacked up Doc knows what I'm talking about because after that week, he started calling them the Buccaneers.
Listen.
It was after week 1 it began.
Can I be honest with you? At least I'm consistent.
Yeah, but now you exaggerate with it all the time, even when they win.
So for me, it's exaggerated Monday, but for everybody else, it's over.
I already said that.
Yeah,
for Doc, it's always exaggerating Monday. Even if the Bucs win, he'll always exaggerate. But
they're buns though. They are buns. So if I'm looking at the Saints right now, so many people are probably looking at the positives of what the Saints done that they're not even looking at the negatives. Exactly. And we don't know what the negatives are because all we can think about is, oh my God, Jameis threw 5 touchdowns like he wasn't the number 1 overall pick. Playing for a team. Granted, the Bucs had a lot of great weapons and their offensive line came along, but he also had 5 different coaches within his whole career. Offensive coordinators changed. I think he had 3 different offensive coordinators until this last stint. He had several different offensive linemen. Obviously, he had Mike Evans. He had some other people in there, but he didn't really have a chance to really grow in a system. Now here you are. You get a chance to learn behind Drew Brees.
Yep.
And Sean Payton.
Absolutely fanboying, by the way.
Right. Not only Drew Brees, but Taysom Hill also.
Yep.
And you have Sean Payton who knows how to work and say, hey, I'm not going to ask you to throw the ball 50, 60 times down the field. We're going to run these screens. We're going to run these short passes, and we're going to take our shots when we need to. But manage the game. We got these great running backs, right? Yep. We got Alvin Kamara, one of the best running backs in the league. Why would we focus on you passing for 400 yards? We don't need that crap.
Again, still only week 1.
Of course. But honestly,
the strategy can change.
Yeah, it could. But honestly, I think the Saints have never been a really deep ball oriented team, which could fit Jameis very well. He's been forced to throw it down the field. And unfortunately, he believes that every game is won on every throw. Now, as far as on the other side, Aaron Rodgers believes that he can make any throw and he will make any throw. But the offensive line just did not help yesterday.
No, I mean, and I wouldn't say they played terribly. They did all right. But, I mean, I would say this, though. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, because, of course, everyone's going crazy because Jordan Love, they were getting blown out. Why not put Jordan Love in? Why risk injury to Aaron Rodgers, your reigning, defending, undisputed, most valuable player of the National Football League, throwing a blowout?
Right.
Why do that?
Right.
No one's thinking that far ahead. But Aaron Rodgers threw 2 picks. One of those picks, and Doc always talked about this back when that quarterback on the other side of the field was doing his 30 for 30, as people want to call it now. Not every one of those picks was his fault.
Of course.
There was one where it was similar to what happened with Brady and the Bucs. It was a tip drill. There's no way he can control that.
And I know, and we'll get to some other overreactions.
And also 2 big shout outs to Marshawn Lattimore, who got paid pretty much after the game.
Which he should.
Yeah.
He should. Let's think about it. The Saints were in what they would call cap hell. Yep. And they're trying to figure out if they were going to keep him. But, I mean, it honestly made sense that he would get paid. But ultimately, the Saints are a really good team. They've always been a really good team. Mm-hmm. I think the question is, and honestly, I expected some rust on Aaron Rodgers because he missed most of training camp. I mean, he held out.
Well, yeah,
I mean, come on. So I don't really know.
But no one thinks on that level, though, and that's the part that annoys us, is the fact that no one thinks that deeply. They just look at it as, oh, well, the Green Bay Packers, who were just in the NFC Championship game last year, got blown out in week 1.
Kids about that cool. Nobody cares about that. But I don't know.
And I just want to throw the stat out there because, of course, Doc Smith's be throwing these random stats out there. The entire NFC North lost.
That's a good point there, boyo. That is a really good point. And we could talk about them Bears really quickly. I don't want to go too far with it because it really wasn't a great showing, unless you're a Rams fan, because I think Stafford, which he made me eat my words, he really lit the Bears up. And he used those weapons effectively. I mean, he got hit a couple times.
He did get hit a couple of times.
He got hit a couple times.
But what was that I said? I said, oh, well, he's going to be playing behind a better offensive line.
Better offensive line, you did say that.
He has some weapons. And he's playing on a team that has a terrific defense.
Right, and Darrell Henderson was really running that ball yesterday. They didn't even really use Sony Michel like that. I thought they would. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome so far.
Just week one, but I mean, it was a pretty good sample size for week one.
Exactly.
On Sunday night.
Exactly. So I'll say this. Cooper Kupp, what's his name? Van Jefferson. Freaking, I wouldn't even say Robert Woods. Robert Woods had a great back of the end zone catch for a touchdown, but Cooper Kupp was absolutely dominating the Bears. But the overreaction isn't on the Rams, though.
He's their deep threat. And even when they had Jared Goff out there, he was always a great deep threat for this offense.
Agreed. I don't know. I feel like this isn't really about the Rams, though. I think this is really more about the Bears. The overreaction is on the Bears. I think Bears fans didn't even want to give Andy Dalton a chance.
Of course not. They have a shiny new toy.
The fact that Justin Fields scored a touchdown and David Montgomery played like an absolute beast doesn't help either. Nope. So to me, it was like I'm sure people don't want to see Justin Fields come in for gadget plays, and that's the part that kind of stinks. They don't want to see him come in for gadget, option plays. They want to say, give it to him. 34-14. You already know the pressure is going to be on Justin Fields to come in. That's the overreaction, though. That's the overreaction.
But here's the other problem too. Andy Dalton's going to become the Tyrod Taylor of this year. Yep, I said it.
Oh, he said it.
I said it.
You would have to go back in the vault for that one, ladies and gentlemen, to know exactly what we're talking about. But if you look at the history of my man Tyrod Taylor, whenever he's a starter and somebody takes over for him,
I want to add context to that. Who beasted yesterday?
Is that an overreaction? No, it's not. That's
because
legit.
That's literally what happened. I watched that game. I watched 6 games.
Yeah.
During the 1 p.m. games. 6 of them. Okay? Tyrod Taylor was literally money. With the Texans?
And honestly, when you look at some of the other players that replaced him, obviously Baker Mayfield had a pretty good game. Justin Herbert had a pretty good game. So it's not, it's legit. I don't know who's behind Tyrod right now because obviously Watson's, out. But the Texans had some weapons. Jacksonville obviously
weapons. They got really, really good weapons, despite how much they're mean. Right. They have a lot of weapons. They got Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks. He's
like, you want the old David Johnson back? They lost that trade big time. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that. That's the part that bothered me. Like, why would you trade your best receiver for
they have like
Johnson?
4 or 5 former Patriots on the squad.
They do.
This is ridiculous.
I can agree with that. They really do. They do. Oh my God, it's so many. Yo, it's so friggin' many. Oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. Actually, is it all except for Chris? Oh God.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep.
You
This is
know,
what I do, folks. This is what I do for you. I find
that's good. That's really good. And people might overreact to that. But honestly, let's see what happens next week with the Texans. They play Jacksonville, and Jacksonville is
Again, a team that's
yeah.
slowly rebuilding. Like, no one expected the Jacksonville Jaguars to be, AFC playoff bound this year. No one expects that.
I don't know what they expect. Overreaction Monday, and I guess the one of the other ones we'll do a quick shout out, I guess, because one Overreaction Sunday was from one New York Football Giants fan, my cousin, actually stating that the Giants stink. Not only do the Giants stink, everybody's questioning, obviously, Danny Dimes more this season after week 1 than before. But apparently, Johnny, apparently, after the game, the Giants had to run laps.
Okay.
And the Twitter sphere went nuts. What is this crap? And I told him, I was like, this sounds very Greg Schiano-esque.
Yes.
Come on, Joe Judge. Don't make them run laps after the game. I guess he was like, well, you didn't play very hard, so you must not be tired, But, yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say about that. I mean, Daniel Jones honestly had a pretty clean game.
Listen, it's about the interceptions. It's about the fumbles. He
didn't even get a pick. He didn't throw a pick. Yeah, he had a fumble. He pretty much had outside of the fumble, he pretty much had a clean game outside of the fumble and the 2 sacks.
You already know.
Honestly, all that means is that people didn't catch the ball.
Again, I think Danny Dimes is a great quarterback. I can't say great. He's a solid quarterback.
He's a solid quarterback.
Is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be a starter? Maybe. We've seen worse. But I think it's overreaction, and people disrespecting really the Broncos, thinking that this is the same Broncos team, which we know it's not. Teddy Bridgewater is a better quarterback than who they had last season. I think we need to exactly Drew Lock. He's a better quarterback than Drew Lock, and they lost Jerry Jeudy yesterday also, which kind of
we wish him quick recovery too, because that was just awful.
Right, But
no, tell your cousin to calm down.
Relax, right?
Take a sip of his beer and relax. You don't see a team like the Cleveland Browns losing their minds after they blew a big lead to the Chiefs. No. For all intents and purposes, they played a heck of a game. They just ran out of gas.
And I feel like that happened to a lot of teams, but I don't think that's overreaction. The Chiefs are a good team. Let's not play the Chiefs out. They had some offensive line issues. It's not
the Chiefs, but people are acting like, oh, well, the Browns downward spiraling. Like,
no, they ran some great offense yesterday. I was really impressed with their offense.
They opened the entire playbook.
I really loved it.
Entire playbook.
They really did. I loved every minute of it too, by the way.
They were like, oh, the Chiefs is the favorite. We're going to give them our best shot.
But honestly, I think one game, and this will probably be the one that if I was going to overreact to anything, it would be this one. It was the Arizona Cardinals shellacking the Tennessee Titans.
I don't know why. You want me to tell you why people?
Well, hold on. Let me tell you why I would.
Okay.
I think the Titans allowed the media and the fans to give them that Bucs treatment.
You should say that about a couple of teams this first week of football.
No. I mean, not comparing Ryan Tannehill to Tom Brady by any means, but
Well, you said
have
about,
Derrick Henry.
about the Titans and the Bills, which is what I was talking about.
Sure. Titans have obviously Henry. You bring in Julio. You got AJ Brown. You have a pretty solid defense, but things just didn't work out. And you can't count on Kyler Murray, who, despite his inequities in the playoffs last year for me, is still a solid player. I mean, you still have, DeAndre Hopkins. They got Christian Kirk over there. They still got they picked up AJ Green, which I kind of forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
They're still trying to figure out who their running back is, but I mentioned James Conner and if he would be a better running back now that he's away from the Steelers, because those former Steelers players always seem to struggle.
Too soon to tell.
Right. But they play well. I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns. I mean, what a beast.
And all those reasons right there about the Cardinals, the reason why I'm not overreacting on the Titans. The Cardinals have some insanely new weapons, and the Titans couldn't play their game. What, Derrick Henry only ran for 58 yards? How many times you can say that he'll only run 58 yards? Like, for a lot of running backs, heck, freaking James Conner ran 53. For a lot of people, that's a pretty good game.
It is a good game. His last season, he struggled big time. Big time. There's no question about it.
I don't see what the overreaction is. The Arizona Cardinals defense got really, really good.
Yeah.
And they forced the Titans to play outside of their wheelhouse. That's
way
something
outside
that
their
Doc
wheelhouse.
taught me.
But honestly, I really felt like the wheelhouse that they have, right? The new weapon in Julio Jones that they have should have prepared them for that wheelhouse, but apparently it did not.
Julio can't catch the ball if Ryan Tannehill getting sacked.
That is, my friend, what they would call true. But we had some other really, really great games. Nothing else I think was overreact worthy. I think everything else was pretty spot on. Seahawks, right?
I know a lot of people want to overreact with the Dolphins beating the Patriots.
No. See, no. I think if it wasn't a 1-point game.
Because you want me to tell you why? Because everyone kept calling Mac Jones the heir.
But that's.
I know.
Dumb.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. But he didn't throw the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, he threw the ball 40 times. That's a lot of times.
That's surprising a lot of times for a Patriots QB.
Yeah, that's a lot. And to have no interceptions and have a touchdown, I think Mac Jones played a great game. That's why they lost 17-16, because Tua just happened to have that they called a great play where they did the option and he took it into the end zone. That's not Mac Jones' fault. That's why I wouldn't overreact to this at all. I think Mac Jones showed that, number one, he can command the offense. That would be a major overreaction if anybody said that about Mac Jones. That's the best damn performance of an Alabama quarterback that Doc has ever seen.
That is huge coming from Doc. Folks, I just want you to know that. You
know what? I'll say this. Yesterday as a whole was the best damn Alabama quarterback fest of all. And I don't even know if I can count Jalen Hurts as an Alabama quarterback anymore because he left. You understand what I'm saying? If he didn't leave, I was like, he's the best dang Alabama quarterback to ever play, because Jalen Hurts balled out yesterday.
He did.
But the Falcons also stink. But watch them destroy the Bucs.
So
watch
they should have killed him.
Hold on. Make sure you catch that part. Watch the Falcons destroy the Bucs, though, because that's how they do it.
You know what, folks? This is how confident I am that the Bucs are going to destroy the Falcons. Okay, if the Falcons beat the Bucs this season, I will give Doc $50.
Wow.
$50.
You better get that $50 ready, man, because that's what's gonna happen. We stink, man. You just wait and see.
$50. But if the Bucs beat the Falcons this season, he is no longer allowed to call the Bucs the Buccaneers or any type of bum or buns. reference on the show ever again.
Wow. As I look to the right, and Stephen A. and Michael Irvin are talking about the Buccaneers right now. But they're not talking about the Bucks. They're saying what happened to the Cowboys. No, they should be saying what happened to the Bucks.
Nothing happened to the Cowboys. The Cowboys were the Cowboys.
I agree. But we had some good football. We got one more game today, which I think should be a good one despite all the injuries that Baltimore has suffered. We get to see the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Baltimore Ravens in Vegas. I'm interested to see what David Carr does. I'm interested to see what Lamar Jackson does, who said he doesn't care about no stinking extension. You can hold on to that extension talk crap. I'm trying to play some football. Right.
Just make sure that the Raiders are at the designated place.
At the designated time, and I will surely designate the cheeks.
You like that, didn't you?
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
You see, I knew exactly what you were talking about. But, Johnny, I know people heard this podcast on their favorite podcast platform. But if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to listen to this episode as well as all of the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we continue to dive deep into the NFL, the NCAA, the NBA, and all other sporting news. And we'll continue to deliver the news, the analysis, and the reads.
Iowa versus Iowa State was the best college football game this Saturday for college football.